Everyone. Before we get started with today's episode, I just want to invite you to join the Family's Flyfree email list. You're going to get even more tips, advice, and inspiration for flying free, like my Travel Tuesday Q&A videos, where I answer a commonly asked question. You're also going to get reminders of our new podcast episodes, and you'll be the first to know about any free webinars, special classes, and any big news that we have. So to get on our email list, please go to familiesflyfree.com/get email, GETEMAIL, familiesflyfree.com/get email. Now let's start with today's episode. Do you love to travel and save money? Or do you wish you could travel but money is holding you back? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Family's Fly Free podcast, where I show you how to fly your family free forever using my simple fly free formula. I'm your host, Lynn Mettler. My family of 4 has mastered the art of flying free as simply as possible since 2015, and I want to show your family how to do it too. Hey everyone, hope you're having a great week. Welcome to the Family's Fly Free podcast. Today we are going to dive in depth on a topic I'm asked about a lot, and it is called the Chase 524 rule. And this podcast, I'm recording it a little early, but it's going to be airing Thanksgiving week. So happy Thanksgiving, happy American Thanksgiving to everyone. We will be on our way very shortly to Disney World to spend Thanksgiving at Disney. This is the second year in a row we have done this. We are flying free, of course, and I just saved 70,000 points on our flights to Orlando over Thanksgiving, pulling one of my trademark hacks. I'm so thrilled. I think I'm just so clever. And those 70,000 points are worth $1,000 in terms of the value of Southwest points. And so we can do a whole heck of a lot with 70,000 points. We can take multiple trips on those points. So if you want to learn more about all of the cool insider tricks and hacks that we play and exactly what my strategy is, I recorded a whole video just for Families Fly Free members. They had it the next morning after I got this to work, so they could employ a similar strategy for their upcoming trips. So, all right, let's delve into Chase 524. So if you're new to travel rewards, you might have heard that thrown around and not sure what it means. If you've been in travel rewards for a while, you're probably very familiar with this rule that Chase sets, but we're going to go into all the ins and outs with it. So what this rule is it basically says that Chase Bank, who issues a lot of the cards that I personally love, they won't approve you for any of their cards if you have opened 5 cards of any type. There are a couple of exclusions we'll talk about in a minute, in the last 24 months. So it's not just if you've opened 5 Chase cards in the last 24 months. This includes almost any card out there. So what a lot of people come to me or come to Families Fly Free and don't realize is that cards like Lowe's and Best Buy and Kohl's and Old Navy or Talbot's, all of these places where they try to suck you in at checkout to, sign up for our card and get 10% off or 15% off today. Don't do that. It's not worth it because you lose a key coveted spot that you could be earning a big chunk of travel rewards by getting one of our favorite Chase cards. So knowing that, I want you right now, you know this information going forward, so be very selective about any credit cards that you open. So, for example, right now, we're in the process of making some updates to our house. And so there's things like windows or, a kitchen redo. We're looking at Home Depot and Lowe's and those types of places, or these big window companies, and they'll offer to finance it for you. So you want to make sure if you're thinking about financing something like that, understand if you're opening a card to get the 0% financing for 24 months or whatever the offer is, or are you opening, are you getting a loan to do that? So it's much better if you want to take advantage of something like that, if it's a loan. That does not count as a card, and it doesn't count as one of your 525. Home Depot, for example, they want you to open one of their cards. I'm not going to open one of their cards because I don't want to use one of my slots on a Home Depot card. So just be very aware from here forward of those types of offers and what you're really getting and what you're really losing by getting 10% off, at the checkout. So why is this important? It's important because particularly if you want to follow my process is Chase card heavy. Now, it's only a couple of cards as part of my process. I never want you to think, again, that I'm someone who's telling you to open a whole bunch of cards, because I'm not. But the cards that I do want you to open and to get in process, several of them are Chase cards. And so you want to get your Chase cards first before you would add another bank's cards, because the other banks don't have similar rules to this. So it's just important that you know that this exists, that you get your Chase cards in place. And particularly like when we're teaching you to get the Southwest Companion Pass, Southwest's cards are Chase cards. And so if you want a Southwest Companion Pass, you need to have blown through this 524 rule. So you just want to be, again, very aware, very particular, and have a strategy of what cards you're getting in what order, so you don't get things all messed up. Now, there are some exclusions, some types of cards that don't count as one of the 5. And these are some banks' business cards, don't take up one of the slots. So this includes Chase's business cards. That includes the Southwest business cards. It includes things like Chase Inc. Business Preferred or any of the Chase Inc. business cards. Citi's business cards do not count toward one of the 5. Amex, their business cards don't count toward one of the 5. And then just a couple other big banks, but not cards I ever recommend. Barclays. I do have a lot of people that seem to come to me that have one of those cards, and Bank of America. Neither one of those count their business cards as one of the 5. And the reason they don't count is they don't show up on your personal credit report. So Chase is checking your personal credit report to see how many cards you've opened in the last 24 months. These business cards don't report to your personal credit report, so they're not counted as one of the 5. Now, I want to just add a little bit more explanation to that by saying, when you open one of these banks' business cards, when you open a Chase business card, they still check your personal credit. They check your personal credit, but it doesn't end up on your personal credit, which can be good or bad, because if they've extended you a lot of credit, that can be beneficial to your credit for it to be on there, but it's not on there. Capital One, on the other hand, their business cards do report to your personal credit, and they do count towards one of the 5. And so we do like some of Capital One's cards. So I want to make sure that you understand the differences there. So if you have opened a Southwest business card in the last 24 months, that's not going to count as one of the 5. Or if you opened Chase Inc. Business Unlimited, that's not going to count as one of the 5. So the question becomes, how do you know if you have gone over this rule or not? And so the easiest way to know that is to get your credit report and have a look, see. And it can be a little bit difficult on there, like to see, like for example, Chase, it doesn't just say Southwest personal card. You have to know kind of the number, and you have to know what bank it was from and approximately when you opened it. But your credit report will show you what cards, lines of credit have been opened in the last, whatever, your whole credit history, but you're just looking for the last 24 months. And you can count up the cards that are on your credit report. And so basically, if you have crossed over that threshold, you want to look at what's the oldest one that's still within the last 24 months, and when will 2 years when will that one basically fall off? That's going to be the point at which you would have another open slot in your 524. And here's the thing, like once you've crossed over this, there's no getting out of it. So be very careful that you don't get in this territory. There's just nothing to be done other than wait it out. Wait until that oldest one falls off, and then you have another slot. Now, another way to keep track of this is our friends over at Travel Freely, which is a free system that allows you kind of to enter in your credit cards when you get them and when you opened them, and put in some information, who has them, when you got the bonus, and they will track for you if you are in 524, and they'll send you a notice when you're out. So, but you have to have entered everything in correctly. It doesn't like check your credit or anything in order for that to be accurate, but that is a free service. And if you want to check that out by using our link, you can go to familiesflyfree.com/travel freely, FREELY. And that is a handy little tool that you can use if you don't want to try to add a task to your to-do list of when you think you're going to be out of that territory. We also offer tracking sheets inside the Families Fly Free membership. So we have all kinds of different spreadsheets in there that you don't have to create them yourself to list out all your credit cards when you open them, all that same kind of information, to help you track like what you paid in points for every Southwest flight, to help you see how close you are to meeting a minimum spend, your rapid reward shopping. We have a lot of different tools like that. That is a little bit more manual. It's not going to send you an automated reminder, but that's another option that you have to track it. If you're an Excel person or a spreadsheet person, you will like our tracking sheets. Now, a common question that I get is, because the business cards don't count as one of the 5, can I open a business card if I have opened 5 cards in the last 24 months? Am I allowed to open one? And so, no, you are not allowed to open one. If you have already opened 5 of these cards that qualify toward that rule. You can open a business card if you're only at 4, because you got 1 slot open, and that is actually not going to fill the slot because the like a Chase business card doesn't count. And so as long as you're at 4, you can keep opening, a Chase business card, the ones I listed out, Citi, Amex, etc., the ones that don't count toward the 524 rule. Again, I'm not recommending that you open a bunch of cards, but if you have found yourself in this situation and you need something like a companion pass, that is a way to help you around it. You could go with the business version of the Southwest card if you're not eligible to open the personal card because you have boxed yourself into this rule. So that is a common question that I'm asked. So this is just another good reminder that the strategy that is vastly employed out in the world of travel rewards to be constantly opening a new card to earn the big bonus is not a good one. And I was just on with a member who had fallen prey to that because that's what's being taught out there everywhere else. Besides me, is that you just need to be constantly opening a new card. And this person was just in a big mess because that's what they've been doing, for years. And so we were able to get the mess cleaned up, which was pretty amazing, and come up with a strategy for her to get on our system. But it really does take some doing. If you've got all these cards open, you don't know when you opened them, you're not sure which ones are business, which ones are personal. You want to get on a strategy to always have companion pass, to not have to be opening all these cards all the time. It just can become difficult when you get into this 524 territory. So please take my advice and understand that there's an easier way to do travel rewards to still meet your travel goals, probably exceed what you are doing right now with this crazy system. You can still fly everywhere you want. You can still have the points to do it. And it's going to be so much easier and so much less stressful and so much less overwhelming. You just need to be working with like 3 cards. And most of the time, you're only going to be dealing with 1 or 2 tops in terms of your everyday spending. So you need to have a strategy of what cards to get in what order. And I wish I could tell you for everyone, it's do this first and then do this and then do this. And it's just not. It's just all based around what you have done to date, what cards you opened, when you open them. If you don't have any cards, do you have any points in the system? Do you have a companion pass? When does it expire? Do you have a traveling companion who doesn't have some of these cards? There's so many components that go into this. That's why we have created a membership where we can personally take a look at your situation. We can get you on my Flyfree formula. We can show you how to do this the easy way. And just like I did for this particular member, get you cleaned up if you need to be cleaned up and show you how to get on our system. So just make sure you have a strategy, that you have thought through what you really need in what order. And just please be open to the idea that there is an easy way to do this, and it really, really does work. So I hope that helps explain the 524 rule. If you keep hearing that thrown around and you're not sure what that means, and some of the common questions that we get with it, how to know if you're in it or you're not, and just some best practices around that. So promise me that for 2023, you're not going to go crazy opening a bunch of cards. You're going to have a strategy. You're going to understand the rules, the ins and outs, and you're going to make sure you don't just end up in this 524 rule by just not thinking about a card that you're just randomly opening. Okay. All right. So I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving with their family. I am going to be reporting in to our Families Flyfree members on our members only podcast throughout my trip to Disney World, sharing, what crowds are like, what Genie Plus is like right now. We're going to be staying for the first time in our Disney Vacation Club. And so I'm super excited to experience that. I'm going to report back in on that. So if you have been thinking about joining Families Flyfree, it's never a bad time to join. But come join right now, get access to all of that, and get your family set up on our easy system so you can be flying free in 2023 and beyond. So have a great one. If you're ready to fly your family free forever, I invite you to join my Families Flyfree membership. You'll learn how to stop paying for airfare throughout the US, Caribbean, and Europe so you can make those priceless family travel memories before your kids or even your grandkids leave home for good. And you'll learn it using my simple, proven formula that's helped hundreds of families. Plus, it's risk-free. You either get your investment in the membership back in free travel, or I give you your money back. You can get more information at familiesflyfree.com/join.